Hey, what's up guys, my name is Mendel, and today I'm gonna remix one of my singles, Descending Upon Hades, with Superior Drummer Death Darkness expansion pack. Here we go. Okay, so here we are in the Cubase. This is the kit. We'll go more into detail about that later. Oh, by the way, when I'm done mixing and mastering this song this month, it will be re-released on Spotify as a special Toontrack remix remastered. Just go to Spotify and look up Descending Upon Hades Toontrack Remixed. So what I first did, I took the multi-tracks from the actual recordings. The actual drums were recorded by Koen Herfst, amazing drummer, recorded all the drums for the album in 1.5 days. I took all those multi-tracks, put them into Tracker, made sure all the hits were right, and then put it back into Cubase. Which wasn't very easy because Koen has some cool fills, tricks, drum stuff up his sleeve, which are very hard to convert to MIDI to, but I'm pretty happy how it turned out. So let's first take a listen, and then we'll go into the kit and to the mixing. Okay, and let's play a few heavy parts. Cool, sounds pretty fat to me. Okay, so let's talk about the kit. So this is both a blend of the Mark Lewis one, Death, and the Madsen one, Darkness. By the way, fanboy moment, I'm a huge Mark Lewis fan and was lucky enough to meet him last year. Awesome dude, knows a lot of stuff, knows his shit, and you can definitely tell. So the basic foundation of this is Death, and what I did is all the cymbals are from Mark Lewis. It sounds absolutely fantastic, and the toms are from the Darkness kit, which was a funny coincidence because Koen Herfst, as I said, recorded the drums, and he plays Tama, and he plays the exact same kit that Madsen used, so just had to use this. So let's go over what's going on here, then we'll go to the mixing. So for the kick, I used a blend. So the first thing I got here was the Tama Star Classic kick. Then I got the Stoner Designer one. Then we go to the Yamaha Recording Custom, which is nice and fat. Well, fat, has that nice high clickiness. And then I used the kick 2 from the presets. Together, nice and fat. The snares, let's see. So I had the Tama Bell Brass. Love that. Then snare 2 and the Mega Snare. Together, nice and fat. So I said before, the Star Classics are the toms. And for the cymbals, I used all the ones from Mark Lewis. One thing I should note, so when Koen recorded for the album, he used 2 rides and 2 hi-hats. So that's why I have another hi-hat over here and another ride over here. Right. So there's one thing I wanted to point out before I go into the mixing, which I really like. So the chinas and the splashes are spot mic'd or close mic'd, which is really helpful for faster metal, let's say technical death metal. So to showcase that, there's a part where where he played a right blast and then went into after the fill played a china blast. And with this, you can really hear that those close mic spot mics really make those cymbals pop out. So let's take a listen. So let's solo that. absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. English is not my native language. Another cool thing is how much detail there is in the cymbals. Let's take a listen to this. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so let's take a look what's going on here. So what I did is towards the end I made a few buses. So all the overheads are grouped to this, all the rooms are grouped to this, all the kicks are grouped to this one, all the snares are grouped to this, toms are grouped to this, and I made a reverb bus. So let's start with the kick, shall we? So this is what the kick sounds like without the EQ. And what I did here was I cut off some very low end rumble, boosted a bit, cut off some low mid rumble, and boosted some around 2K and around 10K. It makes it more present. And over here I cut a bit more of the low mid and added a bit more of the top end. So it's a bit more defined. Okay, so then let's go to the overheads. So since this mix was a kind of bit darker, and we all know Mark Lewis loves darker mixes, sarcasm, but to make it fit in, I had to cut off some of the highs. So this is what the overheads sound like without any EQ or compression. So what I first did, I cut off some everything below like 500 hertz, and there was a ring around here with one of the rides. And over here I cut some nasty frequencies to my ears, and some very top end. So over here, cut some mids and some top end, some filtering over there. And then I used some compression. And a tiny bit of tape simulation, but I'm not sure if it's doing anything, but just Wilbur put it on cymbals, I believe, so that's why I'm doing it. That's the best way to learn mixing. All right. So with the rooms, I like to let's turn off everything and first listen to without. So I cut off some lows, just like with the cymbals, to make room for like guitars and anything else, because most of the time when I'm doing really fast stuff, and this song is pretty fast, I don't use a lot of room, but I like to complement the overheads with room. So that's why I did this and cut up some nasty frequencies around here. And some top end. Add some compression. And then to the snare. So there's one snare sample that's not going to the snare group, so I could treat it differently. So let's start with the group first. So this is what the group sound without EQ. So cut off some low rumble, cut some mids. I boosted some like right below this peak, so it would add some weight to the snare. And I added some around, what's this, 3K? 2700K and around with the 6K to add some presence. Alright, then add some more high for that snappiness. Add compression, and then added another compressor. For some slight, I'd say slight extra compression. So when we go to this snare, I'm not even sure anymore why I want to treat it differently, but normally when I mix, I separate the regular snare and sampled snare, or sample sounding snare, to treat them differently. Again, add in some high mids and some high. Oh, and let's see, I cut some mid to tame the honk. Cool. Also, what I did is I didn't route the overheads and the rides to the overheads group, because there's a lot of compression on the overhead group, and since especially the ride cymbals are kind of maybe like transient-y, not sure that's a word, but because of the high pinks, I didn't want to have that much compression on them, so I just treated them separately. As you can see over here, just a cut. Let's take a listen to some rides. There we go. I hear some whistling. Need to remove that whistle. Cool. So when it comes to that hi-hat that's separate, basically the same thing, just cutting off the lows. I'll solo it so we can hear it again. I hear another whistle. Be careful when you do this, because when you remove all those whistles, it can suck the life out of you can suck the life out of it. Yeah, so that's basically it. Death Darkness expansion pack for Toontrack's Superior Drummer. And since we're a metalhead, I'm gonna end this video with the blast beat, because in my opinion, every video on Earth should end with the blast beat. I'm just kidding, but I am gonna end this video with the blast beat. Anyway, my name is Mendel. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and let's end this video with a blast beat.